Hey, you guys, it's your girl Taisha P back at you again with another Trusted Transformation Station podcast style video. I'm so grateful to be here talking with you guys once again, and thank you for allowing me to ramble. I really appreciate you tuning in and just listening to me just share what's on my heart. And today, what's on my heart to share, oh my goodness, it's something I just thought about as I'm randomly an hour or so away from wrapping up work, and I'm thinking to myself, like I want to talk to the collective today, see how they doing, and I'm like, investment. That just came into my mind, investment. And in thinking about investment, what specifically was laid on my heart was don't be afraid to invest. And as creatives, as financial, liberated people, as partners in a relationship, as students, as anyone that wants something that lives outside of themselves, there's always going to be an investment required many times. When it comes to knowledge, you have to invest time, energy. When it comes to, like I said, financial liberation, you have to invest money. You have to also invest in your knowledge. When it comes to having relationships, whether that be platonic, romantic, you have to invest time, energy to get to know these people, to know what you want in a person or you want in a friendship, and vice versa. And how I'm going to tie that into creatives now. When you want to invest into your financial liberation alongside of just using your craft to make ways for you, to create lanes for you, you cannot be afraid to invest. And that be time, energy, attention, focus, and not most importantly, but also equally as important, money as well. And I feel like a lot of times we wonder why we're not taking off in a certain way. And you check the work ethic, you check the investment, you check the dedication to what we say that we want to become, myself included, and we're not putting anything behind it, or we're not putting as much as we can. Being real with you, besides this mic that I'm now talking on, thank God, shout out to my girl Kels for getting me it for Christmas. I had a little lavalier mic, something I got off Amazon. It was $20 or so, and it was like whatever, but I did use it. It is good. If I'm on the go and I want to record some content, I'm definitely going to bring it with me, because I see it now as probably like a travel mic that would be good to use. But I had that, and it was just sitting there, even though now I have something better and I'm definitely taking advantage of it. Before, I had a little whatever mic and I was using it, but even still, because it was like, this is a whatever mic, I wasn't using it. And I didn't take the investment serious. Like, I bought it, and who's to say if I really was using that mic as I should have, what could have came out of that as far as the return on investment? I didn't make no money using that mic. I mean, I'm not being transparent here. I'm not making no money using this mic right now either. But who's to say now that I'm actually putting the time and the energy behind it, although it was a gift, it's going to have a return on investment at some point, I'm God willing, Same thing with my ring light. I have it. It's great. I use it. But do I use it as often as I should? Especially knowing that I bought it for the purpose of creating video content. Am I doing it? Not really. And I used it more in the beginning, but when you're working, and you feel like nothing's coming of it, you stop. And then you have to now get into the mindset where you ask yourself, am I doing this solely for a check? Because if you're doing it solely for a check, you will stop. That's something I'm going to keep it real with you about. If your work ethic, you're only doing it simply as a means to an end, eventually you will stop. And that's exactly what happened. I was sitting there like, yeah, I'm doing my thing. I'm going to take it serious. Blase, blase. And it sounded good until I was working on N and I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. I felt like it was just like, okay, I'm coming up with these videos. I'm coming up with these ideas. I'm writing down all these notes of things that I liked, things that I want to improve on, things that I think were decent, things that I think, are areas where I could explore maybe for the future. And I just sat on it because I was so focused on the results. And I wasn't focused on living in the moment and just doing the work and investing the time and energy that will bring me the results at some point. And I think another thing that, even to tie into that, that's kind of like a sidebar, is I downplayed my results. Many people don't know this unless they ask me the story, but a part of the reason I'm in the marketing industry now, and a big part of the reason why I was even able to get into the marketing industry was during COVID. I felt inclined to start my blog, Trusted Transformation, and sometime within the next year, early 2021, I want to say January, February-ish, I was applying for jobs within the marketing industry, and I got my foot in the door, and something that I mentioned during the interview of me getting hired as a marketing assistant was that I had a blog that I worked on for social media content, and that I was really passionate about the work that I was doing, because I've learned, okay, this is a way that I can use my creative gifts and skills and just interest of creating in a social media context, and how I can bring benefit to that business. And while I think my credentials helped, I definitely think that kind of took me over the edge, probably compared to my competitors at the time. That's the only thing I could say, because essentially it was like I got that job on spot, to be honest with you. So I realized in that moment, now in looking back, that's what sometimes the price of investment is. Being able to say, or that's the benefit, I should say. That's a better way to put it. That's the benefit of investment, where you're able to now have something to say. I have experience. I have tangible evidence of what this investment has allowed me to learn and allowed me to develop and grow into. Too many times we want to just get up and do something and experience success. One thing I realize now, as much as I desire success in different ways, I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to rush it mainly because if I was ready for it, it will be here. I genuinely believe that. And I say that because there are things that, now that I'm in this position that I'm in, I think that the old me at certain points in times, either A, when I had these different desires that came and went, if I knew what my life was like now, if I got what I wanted or thought I wanted at certain points in life, I wouldn't probably be happy. And that ultimately, we don't know what's best until things happen and we could look back and realize that path was already aligned for us based off of the investment that we put in. When you truly and genuinely want something, you have to take aligned action. And aligned action also includes investing in yourself, in your health, in your mindset, in your goals, in your values, in your dreams. It takes investing in your education, and education is not just college. We live with advanced technology that are far greater than what our parents and our grandparents and so on and so forth have experienced. To have a tool be talked about or, conjured up as an idea like ChatGPT in the 1960s was probably unfathomable. People would have said, oh, you're crazy. But now we have something that's at our fingertips that if we really wanted to, we could type in a couple of words and get a whole business plan right in front of us that generates us millions of dollars if we actually were to implement what it said. And I don't have to be the one to say, yeah, it's because of that being my personal experience. I know it's true. There's people that use this tool and say how it's affected their business and catapulted them to great success if you look it up. And besides that, I know the people that created this tool are eating. The people that created this themselves are eating. So much so that people are replicating it by the day. There's literally a website called there's an AI for that.com where there are 1,000,001 AI tools that, depending on what you and your particular need is. So many people only know about ChatGPT when ChatGPT is like the tip of the iceberg compared to what has been now opened as a door just due to investing in one's idea. That somebody thought this was an amazing thing to come up with and we're going to change the landscape of the world. And they did. Whoever invested in ChatGPT, whoever invested in the idea, my goodness, they have changed the lives of I don't even know how many at this point. Just off of something that as a concept is so simple. But in actuality, I know to get to this level, it definitely took some elbow grease. But I say all this to say is that that's why it's so important to invest in oneself in any way possible, and don't do it with the money and the financial goals being the driver, because you'll always get burnt out and not want to do it anymore when you don't see that money come to you immediately, when you don't see that instant gratification of the likes on social media or the follows and the retweets and the reposts and the virality. There'll always be that diminishing of oneself when you equate it to the tangibles, because sometimes you are the person that's ahead of your time. Being quite honest with you, I feel like many times I am that person, and I'm not trying to say it in a showboaty way, but I can't tell you how many times I get asked in, a small talk conversation, hey, so what do you do for a living? And it's so hard to explain, not because I don't know what I do for a living, but because people just don't know what that is. Like, even though it's something that people engage with on the regular and they have no idea who's actually running it, and it's people like me running it and they're just like, what is that? And it's like, you're on social media, you're on Google looking up information. There's people behind these things. It's not just they appear and because you searched up, what toppings look good on pizza, and then it just a magic thing just happened. Like, there's people that push the button on these things, and it's just so funny, because a lot of times it's like I see myself in that you're not gonna be understood until you have this undeniable moment where people clearly make sense of it, but by that time, you're not even worried about people understanding what you do and who you are and all of that. You already gotten to your place where you're like, hey, I know this is what's helping me grow. This is what's building my life up. This is what's allowing me to dream, to create my dream reality. I ain't worried about sitting here trying to explain nothing to nobody. I ain't worried about sitting here trying to make sense of what I do for nobody. And I see myself slowly but surely getting to that place, not out of anger or upset, but it's because a part of the trying to make people understand and all of that, you're displacing your energy from focusing on just doing the work. And going back to the doing the work is the investment. Keep going, keep grinding, keep shining, put your time in, put your money in. Do not be afraid to spend money on your craft. Somebody needs to hear that. You cannot don't cheat yourself. Give coupons to any and everybody else but yourself. Give coupons to any and everybody else but yourself. That's a word. Okay? Do not give yourself no coupon, because every dollar counts when it comes to you. Every cent, every second, every minute, every hour, every moment, everything that you give yourself, it matters. Because you don't want to be that person that has $1 million opportunity, but you treating yourself like trash, or you're not putting yourself in position because you're so busy worried about, am I going to get it back? Is it going to happen? What's going to happen? All of that worry, all of that stressed energy, that's energy you could be putting into what you got going on. So do what you got to do for yourself and your highest good and your growth, because you deserve it. And you deserve to live a life that blossoms and blooms to everything you envision. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. And when you get to that place of understanding that you absolutely deserve it, you won't be afraid to invest. And you'll understand that those that are meant to understand and see the work and value it, in due time, it will be understood. But for right now, where you're at, where you're going, what you got going on, what you're choosing to put into yourselves, do that thing. That's what's always going to pay off in the long run. Do you, be bold, be different, invest, give yourself your best shot at taking it to the next level and taking it to places and spaces that the world has never seen. So that's all, folks. That's all I wanted to share. Don't be afraid to invest. Put your money where your mouth is when it comes to you, and put your energy and your time and your effort when it comes to you too. And watch it all work out for your highest good. It's your girl Taisha P, signing out. Later, y'all.